What it do, flight crew? FTC. Flight T stand up! It's February. FTC stay legendary. We got emergency trade day 2 of the crucial last few days before the trade deadline is approaching, man. To start out with, AD has officially been traded from the Mavericks and is now a Washington Wizard, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you right off the bat, I kind of feel bad for AD, bro. Anybody going to the Wizards, it's just like, I feel like that's just like somewhere, like, the Wizards in 2026 is what the early 2000s Charlotte Bobcats was like. From back in the day. Bro, if you know, you know. Now, the Charlotte Bobcats had some inspirational, you know what I'm saying, early 2000s legends such as Gerald Wallace, a.k.a. G-Force, Raymond Fountain, and so on. But, bro, for the most part, yeah, you don't want to go to the Wizards in 2026. And I just feel like the NBA, I don't know what it is, man. Now, obviously, AD is injury-prone, but I just feel like the NBA just is, like, not necessarily trying to blackball AD, but basically just trying to give him that, what Carmelo Anthony's last 2 years in the NBA was like. They're trying to give him that treatment, you know? So, I ain't gonna lie, if I'm AD, I'll try to get the biggest bag I can in the offseason from the Wizards, play like one more year, and then probably call it quits, bro. Because what you don't want to happen is you don't want to get passed around the NBA like a blunt, because that's what's happening. I think AD's been on, what, like 3 teams in the past, like, year? The Mavericks are trading 10-time NBA All-Star AD, Jaden Hardy, D'Lo, and Exum to the Wizards for Chris Wannabe, Michael Red Middleton, AJ Johnson, Malachi Branham, Marvin Bagley III, 2 first-round picks, and 3 second-rounders. So they're basically trading Anthony Davis from Wannabe Michael Red, a full bag of Doritos chips, a half-eaten In-N-Out cheeseburger, some nachos, and it looks like the side of pickles and some fries. Yo, the disrespect. Bro, Anthony Davis, somebody who I believe is going to be a first-ballot Hall of Famer, no matter what you want to say about him, is literally being traded for somebody who has... Bro, let's be honest, man. How many of y'all own a Middleton jersey, man? It's no offense to him, but, bro, come on, man. There's no way he has over 75 jersey sales, career jersey sales, Chris Middleton. And you're telling me that he's worth... Forget everybody else. We're basically looking at Anthony Davis for Chris Middleton. And at this point in Middleton's career, let's be honest, he was a one-season wonder. So what is he averaging, about like 7 or 10 points per game? This is disrespectful to Anthony Davis, bro. I ain't gonna lie, this is disrespectful, but hey, at the end of the day, the NBA is a business. Anthony Davis is now a Washington Wizard. He is going to be teaming up with Trae Young. So whenever Trae Young comes back, hey, I don't know, maybe the Wizards might just make a last-second comeback. Are y'all excited for that? Do y'all even think that's going to work out? I mean, hey, I don't think it's like, bro, no bullshit, low-key now thinking about it. If Trae Young and AD actually stay healthy, we might just throw the Wizards in the lineup once every week type shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying like every single Wizard game, but I would want to see that. Trae Young got a 3-pointer. He's really good with throwing alley-oops. I feel like that can work out with Anthony Davis. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he can throw it to AD in the post. They may have a few other like role players, I guess. I don't know. And they still got the high draft pick like the SARS dude or whatever his name is, right? All right, so moving on up. Dallas is receiving a 2026 Thunders pick and a 2030 protected Warriors first-round pick in this deal from the Wizards, alongside with the second-rounders from the Buns and the Chicago and Houston. The Wizards are acquiring a future Hall of Fame big man Davis, top 75 greatest players to add. It's crazy, like literally. You get Anthony Davis literally for the free ski, bro. They must have just wanted to trade him. It's crazy to even think about it, bro. So, y'all was thirsty to get rid of Doncic, right? Only had 80 for not even 6 months. I think not even 6 months. And now he's going away. So, it looks like, how does this even look like the fallback on the Mavs and stuff? Y'all basically got rid of Doncic for no reason. If you was going to trade 80 a year later, you basically got rid of Doncic for no reason. So, that even makes it even more of the reason why people will hate on the Nico Harrison dude. NBA deadline week stunner. Clearly, the Wizards have completed the construction phase. Moving forward, Young and Davis leading a rising core. Washington turned previously to Beal. Kuzma trades into Young and Davis swaps. And then I forgot, isn't Beal still in the Wizards or no? Is he even in the league? I think he's in the G League. Is he playing in Turkey? I don't even know, man. And we got another breaking trade news. The man, Jared McCain, has been traded to the OKC Thunder for a Rockets first-round pick and 3 second-round picks. How do you guys feel about that? Now, you guys know the man McCain is FTC. We reacted to him a few times in the meme conference. We met him for the first time alongside with Shyla Ray and stuff. Hey, Jared McCain has talent. I just feel like with the Sixers, it was a real hard chance for him to even get. They have Maxey and they have Edgecombe, so I just feel like they wasn't even trying to give him minutes. And he recently just came back from the G League. I ain't gonna lie, I feel like he has potential to low-key not even just learn some stuff from SGA, but also there can be like a, you know what I'm saying, an unthought duel, if it makes sense. I don't know, man. How do y'all feel about that, bro? You got SGA sustained an abdominal strain and will be reevaluated following the All-Star break. What? I'm just seeing this live, too. Yo, so SGA is missing the All-Star break. Because if he says he's being reevaluated after the All-Star break, that means he's not going to play. Damn, I ain't going to lie to you. I wanted to see SGA and the All-Star teaming up with Curry, wet bananas. But obviously they're on different teams, I believe. We just looked at the roster like yesterday. Yeah, McCain lands on the reigning NBA champion Sixers. The trade allows to receive assets, space, glut, guards, give them flexibility, bring Grimes free to see. All right. You got the trade deadline stunner, breaks down the Wizards trade for the Mavs 80. This is your Charizard dude.
A future Hall of Fame big man. The Mavericks are getting back some players, a couple of young players, but 2 first-round draft picks and 3 second-round picks. But let's look at AD going to the Wizards now. He joins Trae Young, who they just acquired. The multi-time All-Star, formerly the face of the franchise of the Hawks. But Alex Sarr, Keyshawn George, Trey Johnson, Bilal Coulibaly, Bub Carrington, they've been building the last few years, but clearly the deconstruction phase in Washington.
Smart water. Get your smart water in a can. Your local Walmart, you know what I'm saying, grocery store. Smart water in a can. Enjoy water the right way.
They're turning the page after this season on being competitive around that young core that they developed, and now they have 2 anchors of that in Trae Young and Anthony Davis. You think about the pick and roll presence that AD and Trae Young will have together, and defensively, Alex Sarr and AD manning the middle. But clearly for the Mavericks, 1 year ago, they traded away Luka Doncic, the face of that franchise. No one ever thought he'd be traded. There was going to be a statue of him one day, but he got traded for AD. It just did not work out. A slew of injuries. But the Mavericks, by making this trade, they've essentially cut their losses here. They've cut ties here, and they're bringing in significant financial relief. They're getting out of the aprons. They're getting out of the tax. They're getting some draft flexibility that now all combines to allow them to properly build this team around Cooper Flagg. He's the face of this franchise, the face of this organization moving.
So, I mean, I guess they're just basically, literally, like you said, just trying to build around Cooper Flagg. Now, hey, Cooper Flagg is literally worth the #1 overall pick, everything like that. He's going to be a superstar. He's going to be one of the faces in the league, I think, in the next 3 years. But, I mean, that's kind of like unexpected. I mean, if you say the least, they're really putting, like, literally, if you think about it, all their eggs in one basket to build around the player. You know, so how do y'all feel about that? Mavericks fans especially. Mavericks have now resources with a lottery pick, late first, financial roster. Dallas has 150 M's and guaranteed money next year. Well below the tax and apron for the season. Dallas drops below luxury tax in both aprons. Lakers, Jackson Hayes has been suspended 1 game for pushing the Wizards mascot. Anybody got a video?
Wizards!
Oh! Close the schools. Jackson Hayes, man. Gold threat badge. Gold threat badge, man. Come on, bro. Respect everybody. All right, next up. Coby White is now part of the Charlotte Hornets. He left the Chicago Bulls, and now he's teaming up with LaMelo Ball. So does that mean that LaMelo Ball's going to potentially be traded, or they're just going to make a duo? Hey, I'm not going to lie to you. Who did they give up for that? Coby White and McConley Michael, they're going to the Hornets too? For Sexton of Collins, Osman Diaz, and 3 second-round picks. Bro, what the hell? Now, Coby White is a cool, consistent casual. I don't think he's ever going to smell an all-star game, but, hey, he drops a cool 18 points. Bro, for him to team up with LaMelo Ball with the Hornets, I actually think now the Hornets are a solid 7-game first-round team. And if I'm not mistaken, the Hornets right now, from what I'm talking about, this are on like a 7 to 8 game winning streak. They've been hooping. Wow. Clippers, Brooklyn Nets, Raptors have agreed on a multi-team trade sending CP3 to the Raptors. Okay, so Chris Paul's back in the league. 2032 Raptors second rounder and cash to the Nets. And then the Raptors will not require Chris Paul to report to the team. He can still discuss trades. Rondo is out of the tax. Brooklyn picks up an asset to cover cash. Okay, I don't know what that's supposed to mean. The Cavs have agreed to trade Lonzo and 2 second-round picks to the Utah Jazz. Rich Paul has reported. So Lonzo Ball is now with the Utah Jazz, a lineup with Justin Jackson and Keontae George. Hey, are the Jazz going to be a sleeper team? The ATL Hawks are acquiring Landale from the Jazz for cash consideration. So we got a consistent casual, being traded away for a few $1,000s. All right. The Jazz are expected to waive Lonzo Ball, allowing him to be a free agent. Damn! Yo, what the hell going on with Lonzo Ball, man? Why the league doing him like that? Nigga, 10 seconds later, the Jazz just cut Lonzo Ball from the team. What the fuck is going on? What are the comments talking about? Yo, they might as well. That's what I'm saying. I seen a meme picture, or an AI picture, excuse me. He might as well just join the Charlotte Hornets. Yo, with LaMelo and his brother. Essentially, a 3-team trade allowed the Jazz to pick up 2 seconds. The Hawks to land a productive center, Landale and the Cavs to shed significant salary, bringing in Harden, Keon Ellis, and Dennis Fumble the back scrotum to fortify the roster. Let me see if he has any other. Okay, we got trade buzz surrounding Giannis is heating up. All right, we got more clickbait at Cuntbell News heading y'all way in seconds.
Gentlemen, hold
Hear
your
it out.
thoughts. Let's welcome
Go
in
check
the
out
busiest
NBA
man
Chaz.
in the business, Shams Charania. Shams, Giannis, the Milwaukee Bucks, has the stances changed with these new comments here?
Malika, to put it plainly, Giannis Antetokounmpo, I'm told, has told the Bucks, communicated to the Bucks for a period of months now that he believes the time has come to part ways, and that has essentially forced the Bucks to listen to teams, to engage with teams, and
I think a Cuntbell's going to either go to the Warriors or a team like the Heat.
remain in touch with teams here this week on the eve of the NBA trade deadline. That includes Miami, Minnesota, Golden State. But at the end of the day, General Manager John Horst and Bucks ownership have to sift through the offers and land on the same page about the big question, whether to execute a trade now or push this to the offseason. Even tonight, just moments ago, I talked to several different sources around teams involved, and there are certainly questions about whether Milwaukee is serious and genuine about pulling a move of this magnitude for this franchise at the deadline. There are obvious risk rewards right now that Milwaukee has to sift through, whether they do it now or wait in the summer. If they wait in the summer, Giannis gets basically an expiring year on his deal. He's got.
Bro, I'll be so done if a Cuntbell don't end up getting traded at this point. I've never seen this many clickbait articles since LeBron James got traded.
1 year left. That gives him a little bit more say-so, a little bit more equity in terms of where he wants to end up and land. And the other side is Milwaukee is likely more playing toward lottery positioning in the second half. And if Giannis wants to play in the second half, that is a direct conflict with goals with both sides. So this is certainly...
All right, let's check out some NBA Chaz. Let's see what he got to say about this AD trade, the McCain stuff, Coby White. I mean, the Charizard dude actually talks about CP3 may never play in the NBA again after trade to Raptors. Huh? So they just cut CP3 for real. Why are they doing CP3 like that, man?
As the worst trade in NBA history, trading away Luka Doncic, as the Dallas Mavericks have traded Anthony Davis, Jaden Hardy, D'Angelo Russell, and Dante Exum to the Washington Wizards for Chris Middleton, AJ Johnson, Malachi Branham, Marvin Bagley III, 2 first-round picks, and 3 second-rounders. Dallas will receive a 2026 Thunder first-round pick and a 2030 protected Warriors first-round pick in this deal. And just my instant thoughts are, for the Washington
Anthony
Wizards,
Davis on the Wizards don't even look
and
right.
Trae Young, which could be an insane duo going forward as long as the two can stay on the court. Anthony Davis, he only played 29 games in his Dallas Mavericks career, but he honestly gets what he wants to play alongside a center. Alex Sarr at the center position, Anthony Davis at the 4 position, and then you have Trae Young at the point, Keyshawn George, Trey Johnson knocking down threes, Bilal Coulibaly off the bench as well. Like, this could be a really good team going forward, the Washington Wizards. And as for the Dallas Mavericks, obviously deciding to build around Cooper Flag, they add those 2 first-round picks, those 3 second-round picks. They pick up Chris Middleton for the veteran leadership, along with Kyrie Irving in the locker room. AJ Johnson's a good young player. Marvin Bagley, I actually think, is an underrated pickup in this deal, but it is just crazy that the Dallas Mavericks got more for this deal than what they got for Luka Doncic. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section.
Yeah, man, they just clearly building around Cooper Flag, man. We got McCain.
Has been traded to the Washington Wizards. The Philadelphia 76ers trade Jared McCain to the Oklahoma City Thunder for a 2026 Rockets first-round pick and 3 second-round picks. And as that news drops, it was announced that SGA has actually suffered an abdominal strain in last night's game against the Orlando Magic and will be reevaluated after the All-Star break. So that's at least 2 weeks, meaning he will be out for the All-Star game, meaning that there will be a replacement for him. But it's a good time to trade for another guard. And as for Jared McCain himself, he was just sort of starting to find his feet in Philadelphia after returning from that injury, but now obviously traded to OKC. At least he still gets to compete for a championship. I feel like 76ers are going to be out there competing, but obviously...
Damn, Thunder low-key pulled a smart-ass moves. SGA's going to be out. Now, thinking about it, if that's the case, he's not going to play in the All-Star, you're not going to reevaluate him after. That means SGA is not going to, be playing for 2 weeks, damn near. So they got McCain, who's now going to have... Yo, I ain't gonna lie, McCain, this is actually one of a big chance that, you know what I'm saying, you really need to capitalize off of. You know what I'm saying? Like, if McCain can at least put up a solid 12 to 15 and 7 a game, and now he's part, and all of a sudden it's an SGA and McCain duo, and I don't know when the J-Dub dude's coming back. I think he has the Achilles or something, but hey, they got another good role player, maybe even more. All right, we got Coby White.
The Chicago Bulls traded Coby White and Mike Conley to the Charlotte Hornets for Colin Sexton, Usman Dieng, and 3 second-round picks. The Hornets on a 7-game win streak. Mike Conley could get bought out still, but here's NBA Today's reaction to the trade.
So for Charlotte, they prioritized Coby White in free agency. He was going to be a free agent this offseason. They wouldn't have been able to sign him. So pre-free agency is the theme. They go out and acquire him right now. The hottest team in the NBA, 23 and 28. I'm not going to say this is for the playoff run, but I think this is more for a move to re-sign him in the offseason here and you get rid of Colin Sexton, who's been good for them, and also you capitalize on trading some future picks down the road.
Okay, so I don't know how many guards that the Bulls are going to trade for this week. I'm not going to focus on that. I'm going to focus on this move for Charlotte. This is Charlotte also ramping up. Okay, yep. They aren't doing it in such a dramatic fashion like the Wizards and the Jazz are, but here are teams that have been at the bottom 4 years now. Utah, Washington, Charlotte. Buying. And here they come, more for 2026, 27. But Coby White is a spark plug. This guy can score, and of course, he's got North Carolina roots. Yeah. If you're a Tar Heel fan, you are excited to see Coby White come back and probably to be a Hornet for years into the future.
And another trade that went down today, the 76ers trading Jared McCain to OKC for a 2026 first-round pick.
We just heard that. And then we got the CP3 situation, why he might not be playing in the league anymore. See, Charles
just traded to the Toronto Raptors in a 3-team trade, and the Raptors pretty much told Chris Paul not to come to Toronto. They are either going to waive or trade him before the deadline. OJ Abaji is going to the Brooklyn Nets with a 2032 Raptors second-round pick in cash. And here's Shams breaking down the trade along with Chris Paul's future.
You just broke that Chris Paul has been moved to the Raptors, but actually, wait, not so fast. Where is actually he headed, and what does this mean for the point guard?
Malika, 3-team trade here, but this is really just a salary tax type of deal. It's between the Brooklyn Nets, Toronto Raptors, and the Los Angeles.
They done use CP3 for a tax write-off, man. Damn.
Clippers. Chris Paul being the biggest name player in that. He's going to Toronto. That allows the Clippers to save $7 million in luxury tax, create a roster spot. Toronto will not have Chris Paul report. Chris Paul will never step foot in a game with the Raptors. They are expected to either trade or waive him by tomorrow or after the deadline. And for the Brooklyn Nets and all this, they get Ochai Agbaji, the former first-round draft pick, and he's going to go with a 2032 Raptors second-rounder to Brooklyn. They're also getting $3.5 million in salary. So for the Nets, this is just about taking on a player with an additional asset. And the Raptors also fully get out of the luxury tax. So a full-on salary tax deal. Chris Paul will not be playing for Toronto.
Okay, so this is a full-on salary deal. I think a lot of people are wondering, does this mean Chris Paul is going to be back in the league, or is it too soon to know right now, Shams?
It will not be for Toronto, and I think when I talk to teams around the league, his NBA future obviously very much up in the air. It's not certain whether he's going to play again in the NBA as of right now.
And in other trade news, the Cavs...
man. All right, man. What y'all think about these trades so far, man? Shit. Hopefully there's more news, because I ain't gonna lie, man. Warriors, what the fuck is going on? Like, deadass, what are y'all doing? Y'all ain't even signed a 65 overall or nothing. What are y'all doing, bruh? Man, if I don't hear nothing by the trade deadline, man, I might have to make like a separate rant video about it or something, bro. Because, damn, you can't be wasting your Curry's, you know what I'm saying, last few years in the league, man. Like, bro, still dropping 40, 50 points at his age. Like, bro, what the fuck? What we doing, man? What we doing?